that for this achievement for
Welcome, this is Indian News Liberia. We are live from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We are live from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We have with us here the Director General of the Liberia Broadcasting System. Let's join the interview.
The United Nations Security Council gives you the recognition by other states out of over 190 that indeed you may be little, but you play a crucial role in world politics. So it is significant for us, not only internationally or globally, but domestically. It is something worth planning.
Do you think this is a collective effort for all Africans?
I think it's more than collective. Why it's true we may not have had everybody on board, it's collective, and everyone will join in the celebration.
Thank you very much. So we are getting signal that the President Joseph Imam Bouaka is expected here. But welcome. This is a special coverage of our network. This is DN News Liberia, and we are coming to you live from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Yeah, and as you see, there are several activities ongoing. We have the members of the diplomatic corps, members of the cabinet, several officials of government have already made their way into this building, and that's the Cecil Dennis Hall. That's where the event is going to be taking place. The president will arrive here very shortly. We'll see the EPS doing everything to ensure that this event is held peacefully and the security is in place. But what we have here is a display of some national culture. These ladies are here demonstrating the celebrating, joy as Liberia is poised to be elected to the United Nations Security Council as a non-permanent member for the next 2 years. So this has been a joint effort of the former and current government. We listened to the former foreign minister, D. Maswa Shekimia, talking about how Liberia was given this slot, and the current foreign minister, Sarah Beslo Yanti, are going to make a lot of effort. See her there? That's the foreign minister. Very shortly, the president is going to arrive here. Very shortly, the president is going to arrive here. We see the foreign minister, Madam Sarah Beslo Yanti, is accompanied by the presidential press secretary. The presidential press secretary is also along with the foreign minister. And we also have the chief of protocol, Republic of Liberia, is also here, and the Deputy Minister for Public Affairs, Daniel Sando, is also along with the Acting Information Minister, who is also the Deputy Minister for Administration, Johnny Taka, also here as well. And we just urge you to give us feedback as it relates to our sound system. You can see the president already arrived there. We had other basic schedules, and based on this, we were a little bit late. Welcome here, so it is very difficult now to have our audience to see exactly what is going in there, because the GPS has blocked all entrance to this place for now. But my name is Aaron Sudan. And we see the first lady of the Republic of Liberia. The first lady of the Republic of Liberia, Madam Katumu Bouaka. She's the wife of President Joseph Bouaka. She's making her way out of the vehicle, and the president is still seated. The president is still seated in the vehicle. And for now he's going to just back his vehicle. from that side. Sorry, we will not be able to give you a view of the president facing Baggy, but we'll actually show to you as he leaves to enter the hall. It is very, very, very rally. That is peaceful. The noise here is very huge. There are signs of band from all sides. People are singing songs. Drums are being sounded, and then you have the president, the president of the Republic of Liberia. President waves to his people. Very happy to see the president arrival here. Liberians are very happy to see the president arrival here live from the EPS. So the EPS has been stopping us from entering. So the president has gone. So president. The armed forces of Liberia, National Band, is also here. This is the band, armed forces of Liberia, play as well. It just seems to be a very, very difficult task to have our way in the hall. But this is the lobby towards the main hall. So, the event is on. The event is on now. You can see the president has just arrived here along with dignitaries. And we are making our way into the Cecil Dennis hall here. Where is the president? So the event is, this is where the watch party is going to take place. You see some officials of the government.
To heal the wounds of a nation where neighbors killed neighbors.
You see,
and even some family members turned on each other.
The president will arrive here very shortly. This is where the event is going to take place. The watch party and the event is expected to take place at 2 p.m. 2 p.m. It is going to start at 2 p.m. We're trying to see as to whether we can just point out some members of the cabinet that are here, as well as members of the legislature. We see Senator Wesonga Milton Finde of Grand Bassa County. Senator Wesonga Milton Finde of Grand Bassa County is also here. And we see the Youth and Sports Minister Ko Bangalu, along with Representative for the family of Bon County, is also here. There are several dignitaries. I see the Internal Affairs Minister, the Commissioner General of the Liberia Maritime Authority, also represented. and several officials are arriving here. Former Foreign Minister Olubaki King Akireli has also arrived here, and this is going to be not a very long event. People are going to watch this event. As a matter of fact, it's taking place from New York, where the United Nations headquarters is situated. My name is Aaron Kuban. Please give us feedback on the sound. If you are getting us properly, we ask you to give us feedback on the sound quality. But we've been clustered in here due to the fact that we don't have a specific area where the press should mount. But we try to search around to see Emmanuel when you, who is the Assistant Minister at the Ministry of Internal Affairs, and several top brass, junior ministers, senior ministers, minister properties and directors are all here. Protocol officers
at a time when the world seems increasingly more fractured.
And observing this process. So a documentary is being in the back here. We want you to keep sharing the life. Also to share the life as this event is going to begin very shortly. Very shortly, this event is going to begin. We're told officially it's going to start here. The arrival of the
that has vanished due to rising temperatures.
Inspector General Gregory Cuomo. That's Gregory
Cuomo. For what's still to come.
Madam,
is a call to action.
I'm trying to just look through the idea and identify a few government officials that are here. We see the Justice Minister is seated whereby the Ambassador on Investment, Mohamed Ba, along with the Ambassador of Tourism, Christopher Hens Olununga is also there. We have Daniel Sano, of course, is also here, and the Deputy Minister for Tourism is also here too as well. So the public, that's the Presidential Press Secretary, Kula Fofana, is also making sure that she coordinates the press. So we bring you all of the happiness from here. Now the horde has been displayed. Let's do a zooming of the stream. This is it. Okay. So that's the hall where the voting is going to be taking place. So the bell has gone. The hall is also loud, noisy. So the sound you are getting from the back is now within the hall at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the hall from the United Nations General Assembly. So that's the noise from the hall at the United Nations.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. It is time to start. The earlier you sit down, the better for all of us. For all of us. The 73rd plenary meeting of the General Assembly is called to order. The Assembly will proceed to the election of 5 non-permanent members of the Security Council. The Assembly will place the members to the election of 5 non-permanent members of the Security Council 2025 to replace the members whose term of office of agenda expires on 31st December 2025. Under sub-item A of the 5 outgoing non-permanent members are 114. Algeria, Guyana. The 5 outgoing non-permanent members are Sierra Leone, Algeria, and Slovenia. These 5 states are not eligible to be re-elected today. Their names, therefore, should not appear on the ballot papers. Apart from the 5 permanent members, the Security Council will include the following states in 2026: Denmark, Greece, Pakistan, Panama, and Somalia. The names of these states, therefore, should also not appear on the ballot papers. Of the 5 non-permanent members which will remain in office in 2026, 1 is from the African states, 1 is from the Asia Pacific state, 1 is from Latin American and Caribbean states, and 2 are from the Western European and other states. Pursuant to paragraph 3 of Resolution 1991A of the 18th session of 17 December 1963, the 5 non-permanent members should be elected according to the following pattern: 3 from the African and Asian Pacific states, 1 from the Eastern European states, and 1 from the Latin American and Caribbean states. The ballot papers reflect this pattern. In accordance with the established practice, there is an understanding to the effect that of the 3 states to be elected from among the African and Asia Pacific states, 2 should be from an African state and 1 an Asian Pacific state. I should like to inform the Assembly that those candidates not exceeding the number of seats to be filled from each region, receiving the greatest number of votes, and a 2/3 majority of those present and voting will be declared elected. If the number of candidates obtaining a 2/3 majority is less than the number of members to be elected, there shall be additional ballots to fill the remaining places, the voting being restricted to the candidates obtaining the greatest number of votes in the previous ballot to a number not more than twice the places remaining to be filled. Also, consistent with past practice, if due to a tie vote, it becomes necessary to determine a candidate or candidates to be elected, or that will proceed to the next round of restricted balloting, there will be a special restricted ballot limited to those candidates that have obtained an equal number of votes. May I take it that the General Assembly agrees to these procedures? It is so decided. Regarding the candidatures, I have been informed of the following. For the 3 vacancies from among the African and Asia Pacific states, 3 endorsed candidates have been communicated, namely Bahrain, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and Liberia. For the one vacant seat from among the Eastern European states, one candidate has been communicated, namely Latvia. For the one vacant seat from among the Latin American and Caribbean states, one candidate has been communicated, namely Colombia. In accordance with Rule 92 of the Rules of Procedure, we shall proceed now to the election by secret ballot. Before we begin the voting process, I should like to remind members that pursuant to Rule 88 of the Rules of Procedure of the Assembly, no representative shall interrupt the voting except on a point of order on the actual conduct of the voting. Any announcements, including those concerning withdrawals of candidatures, should therefore be made prior to the commencement of the voting process. That is to say, before the announcement of the beginning of the voting process. In addition, ballot papers will only be given to the delegate seated directly behind the country's nameplate. We shall now begin the voting process. Members are requested to remain seated until all ballots have been collected. Ballot papers marked A, B, and C will now be distributed. The voting has thus begun. In accordance with Resolution 71/323 of 8 September 2017, the names of the states that have been communicated to the Secretariat at least 48 hours prior to the election today have been printed on the ballot papers for each of the regional groups. Also, additional blank lines corresponding to the number of vacancies to be filled for each of the regional groups have been provided on the ballot papers for inscribing other names if desirable. I request representatives to use only these ballot papers that have been distributed and to put an X in the boxes next to the names of the member states from the relevant region whom they wish to vote for, and or write other eligible names on the blank lines. If the box next to the name printed on the ballot paper is checked, the name of that state does not need to be repeated on the blank line. The total number of checked boxes and or handwritten names should not exceed the number of vacant seats to be filled as indicated on the ballot paper. The ballot paper will be declared invalid if it contains more names of member states from the relevant region than the number of seats allocated to it. Accordingly, for the ballot papers marked A for the African and Asia Pacific states, the total number of checked boxes and handwritten names should not exceed 3. For ballot papers marked B for the Eastern European states, the total number of checked boxes and handwritten names should not exceed 1. And for the ballot papers marked C for the Latin American and Caribbean states, the total number of checked boxes and handwritten names should not exceed 1. The ballot paper will be declared invalid if none of the names of the member states on that ballot for which votes were cast belong to the relevant region. If a ballot paper for a region contains one of the following, the ballot remains invalid, but the vote for these member states will not be counted. Member states: 1. Member states that do not belong to the region concerned. Or 2. Member states that continue to be members of the Council during this year and the next year. If a ballot paper contains any notation other than votes in favor of eligible candidates, these notations will be disregarded. I invite the representatives of the following states to serve as tellers to accompany the conference officers as they collect the ballot papers. Germany, Palau, St. Kitts and Nevis, Slovenia, United Arab Emirates, and Zambia. Please proceed to collect the ballot papers.
No. Yeah. collecting so we've seen some senators get arrived here to sort of the arrival of Prince William County. Senator Wacha Sobe of Riverchi County. And the hall is, we have a full house here, and everyone is waiting to hear the result. One person has been actively engaged in the negotiation is Senator Benson Gabriel Fide. He's also here observing this voting process from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs here. And so the whole term of the Liberal Senate is also just somewhere here, but we're trying to get our camera okay, that's all. That's the whole term of the Liberal Senate. And we just saw the arrival of the Speaker of the House of Representatives. It's just behind himself. Okay, that's reaching out.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I request delegations who may have not voted to do so now by approaching the front of the hall to cast their votes. The voting is now closed. No more ballot papers will be accepted. In the interest of time, the Assembly will now proceed to consider the other item announced in the United Nations Journal while the ballots are being counted. The Assembly has thus concluded this stage of its consideration of sub-item A of Agenda Item 114. The Assembly will resume its consideration of Agenda Item 13 entitled, and I quote, Integrated and Coordinated Implementation of and follow-up to the outcomes of the major United Nations conferences and summits in the economic, social, and related fields, end of quote, to take action on a draft resolution contained in document A/79/L89. I give the floor to the distinguished representative of Mongolia to introduce draft resolution A/79/L89.
Mr. President, distinguished delegates, I have the honor to introduce the draft resolution entitled World Horse Day, initiated by Mongolia. At the SDGs Summit in 2023, the world leaders committed to taking bold, ambitious, accelerated, just and transformative actions to accelerate the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals. These actions would be anchored in international solidarity and effective cooperation at all levels. In line with these goals, Mongolia is putting forward this initiative to support the cross-cutting objectives of sustainable agriculture, pastoralism, biodiversity conservation, tourism, and related issues. As of today, there are more than 57 million domesticated horses around the world. We all know that the horse is one of the most important animals in human history, as it has served as the main means of transportation for centuries and was dominantly used in agriculture, farming, mining, in almost on all other areas. Even in today's world, horses play an indispensable role in our daily lives, particularly in rural areas, and equine industry has been and is still solid contributor to the economic progress of many countries through horse riding, horse racing, equestrian sports, tourism, recreational activities, transportation, as well as employment generation, agricultural production, and other businesses. However, in recent decades, the number of horses, horse trades, and horse industry, including traditional usage and mobilization of horses, are declining to a certain extent due to changes in people's lifestyle, technological advancement, economic fluctuations, climate and environmental changes, and other factors. In recognition of the past and present, this resolution A/79L/89 aims at raising awareness to the importance of the horses, encouraging concrete actions to support equine industry, sustainable livestock management, promoting global efforts and activities for equine welfare, as well as contributing to the conservation of the horse cultural heritage and pastoral nomadic lifestyles. Distinguished delegates, moreover, in most countries of the world, including my own country, Mongolia, horses had played, are still playing an important role in our history, culture, daily lives, and is cherished as one of the most respected animal species. Historically, Mongolian pastoralists nomads have relied on their livestock animals for living and moved several times throughout the year looking for good pastures with abundant water and grass to accommodate their herds. In our way of living, horses certainly have been and are still serving as the main mode of transport. Mongolian horses are best known for the role as the war steed of Genghis Khan and his successor due to their strength, excellent long-distance traveling endurance, and easy care. For above reasons, horses have sacred place in Mongolian history, culture, national identity, as they often featured in Mongolian myths and legends, symbolizing strength, endurance, and freedom. With its 4.7 million horses, Mongolia is listed one of the countries with biggest number of horse population in the world. Thus, as a country with rich horse heritage and modern thriving livestock industry, Mongolia, with the generous support of fellow co-sponsoring countries, is proposing World Horse Day be observed every year in the middle of summertime on 11th of July. Distinguished delegates, Mongolia deeply appreciate the active participation and valuable contributions from all delegations during the negotiation on the draft resolution. We would also like to express our heartfelt thanks to the co-sponsors of this resolution and invite those member states that have not yet co-sponsored it consider doing so, acknowledging the significance of the matter. Finally, I would like to express my full confidence in that member states will render their unwavering support during the adoption of the draft resolution L89 World Horse Day. I thank you very much for your attention.
I thank the distinguished representative of Mongolia. We shall now proceed to consider draft resolution A/79/L89. For your information, the draft resolution has closed for e-sponsorship. I give the floor to the representative of the Secretariat.
Thank you, Mr. President. I should like to announce that since the submission of the draft resolution, and in addition to the delegations listed on the L document, the following countries have also become co-sponsors of A/79/L89: Belarus, Bhutan, Brazil, Bulgaria, Cambodia, China, Croatia, Germany, Hungary, Japan, Kazakhstan, Kuwait, Lesotho, Morocco, Nepal, Nicaragua, Oman, Pakistan, the Philippines, the Republic of Korea, the Russian Federation, Saudi Arabia, Serbia, Singapore, the Syrian Arab Republic, Tajikistan, Thailand, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, and Vietnam. If any other countries wish to co-sponsor A/79/L89, please signify by pressing the microphone button now. I see Comoros, Armenia, Ghana, Chile, the Islamic Republic of Iran, Myanmar, Mali, Chad, Sao Tome and Principe, India, Vanuatu, Oman, Botswana, Cyprus, Senegal, Kenya, Guinea, and Guinea-Bissau. I also see Eritrea. Thank you, Mr. President.
I thank the representative of the Secretariat. We shall now proceed to consider draft resolution A/79/L89. Before giving the floor for explanations of vote before the vote, may I remind delegations that explanations of vote are limited to 10 minutes and should be made by delegations from their seats. I now give the floor to the distinguished representative of the United States.
Thank you, Mr. President.